I'd like to call to order this November 6, 2018 Election Day meeting of the Finance Committee of the Parish of Ascension Council. The pledge and the invocation will be led by Ken Dawson. If you'll stand and remain standing for those, please.
Let us pray. Father, your word always encourages us that to whom much is given, much is required. That if you have possessions, that you're to bless those that have less than you do. If you have the ability to love and to comfort, you are to comfort those that need the soothing. You are to be unto others that you will have them to be unto you. So, Father, as we come and as we do the people's business tonight, we surrender ourselves in grace and humility to you for the blessings you bestowed upon us and the opportunity to represent the people of Ascension Parish. So in doing so, we ask for your wisdom, which you said that you would give to every man freely. We ask that we do so in unity to a purpose to make Ascension the best that it can be for the citizens that live here. And in that we give you grace, and we thank you in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for being here today. I have heard from Bridget Hanna that election has gone well today in Ascension Parish, that voter turnout is up, and so we're proud of that. And if you have not voted, you still have time. Please don't watch this. Go do so. This will not be as important as that. The roll call, we have Councilman Travis Turner is absent, I'm sure due to some work, and Councilman Benny Johnson is at work. There will be no chairs additions. There is the removal of item 9. And I remind our guests and visitors that the public comment period is open, and you may sign in and indicate which item on the agenda you wish to be heard on, and then that will come to me, and we will hear any member of the public for this 3 minutes. Item number 5, the approval of an agreement with Broad Blast Everbridge for software for the AP Citizen Service Center. Amount of the contract, $34,742.28. Mr. Rick Weber. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. This is the alerting system, the new alerting system for Ascension Parish. This is much more substantive than we had in our previous system called Code Red. The entire state of Florida is on this system, and what a couple of features that this thing will do that the other one didn't is it'll do administrative notifications from local government as well as emergency notifications. And as an example, if you would text balloon to 888-777 every time Lamar Dixon puts out information on the balloon festival, you'll get that. If you text traffic to 888-777, you get roadway information. So this thing is much more substantive than anything that we've done in the past. We did a 90-day PO, and we got the initial installation and training complete. Final setup is being complete now. We're briefing the administration on this tomorrow, as well as the new call center. We're briefing them. We're briefing the communications district on the 19th on this system that dispatch also uses and all of our first responders uses. We're going to brief the mayors on the use of it from their aspect, and then we'll brief you early in December and give you kind of a demonstration of how this thing works along with the call center.
Second.
A motion by Mr. Todd Lambert, a second by Mr. Randy Cluott. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rick, for your efforts in this area. Item number 6, amendment number 3 to the master contract for professional services with Mujo Architecture, LLC for additional architectural and engineering fees for Geismar's Main Station number 80 due to revised construction cost estimate for an additional $36,772. A motion by Councilman Cluott.
Second.
Second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? None, that motion passes. Item number 7, amendment to number 5 to the master contract for professional services with Mujo for additional architectural and engineering fees for the Santa Maria Fire Station number 60.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman
Second.
Randy Kluot, second by Councilman Dan Satterley. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Item number 8, an amendment number 3 to the master contract for professional services with Mougeot for additional architectural and engineering fees for Sorrento's main station number 20 due to revised construction cost estimate for an additional amount of $24,483.51.
Motion.
Have a motion by Councilman Satterley, second by Councilman Cagnolati. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Number 10, the monthly contract reports. Ms. Sandra.
Good evening. Before you, you have a list of all the contracts that were entered into in the month of October. Do you have any questions?
Gentlemen, does anyone have any questions? Hearing none, we'll move right along. The sales and use tax report, Ms. Gwynn.
Good evening. You have before you your normal sales and use tax report. This is collections for the month of September based on August sales. You can see the month-to-month comparisons were up within all 3 of our sales tax districts. And the year-to-date, they're up slightly. And compared to the budget, at 75% of the year, you can see that they're above that on all 3 also. And this is without the monthly figures are without the benefit of any audits. So it's actually, we're seeing a slight increase in our sales taxes. Year to date, petrochemical collections were up and consumer retail was basically flat. The charts are, as you're familiar with, and the by pie chart gives you a good example of where our sales tax and use taxes are collected. What sector are they collected from? It's not exact, but we wanted to give you an idea. And then the last page, as usual, is the historical chart for all 3 of the districts. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer.
Mr.
Just real
Dawson.
quick. Go ahead, ma'am.
I'll get you in just one second, John.
Okay.
Bill asked first, I
Just
think.
wanted to reflect here, Gwen, I see that Petrochem is up. Is that right, year over year? 18, yeah.
Right, January to September collection.
Is that, do we know what's prompting that, or?
No, I mean, they have been, like a little flat most of the beginnings of the first 6 months, and we had that huge audit last month that spiked it up a little bit. But the figures this month are encouraging, and hopefully they'll continue through the rest of the year.
See that they're 49% of the taxes that we collected. That's our 1% sales tax. I don't remember last month. It seems like that had dropped below 49.
No, last month we had the big audit included,
Okay.
so it was the same.
Okay, okay. Good. Well,
It's gone down to 46%.
so, it had gone down to 46,
Right.
and now it's coming back up to 49. Okay, great. Well, I
And
think,
it's the petrochemical plants themselves and their major, the contractors, that do
Yeah.
business with them.
I think Councilman Kluot reminded us the other night that our folks contribute half to our income over the year, and that we're always appreciative of that. Thank you.
Right.
Mr.
Yeah, Terry,
Cavallotti.
Gwen, I was going to mention the same thing Bill did, but I think what I'm hearing is that there were some turnarounds, and when they schedule turnarounds, it increases, it bumps up the activity for purchases, and contractors get more people brought on site. I think y'all have one, Todd, for sure.
We have an expansion.
Yeah, expansion, and
Yeah.
with all that activity, and it's going to continue. I think
Yeah,
the
there's a lot
industry is gonna just break
turnarounds
loose
going
next
on.
year. But thank you.
Thank you for your report, Ms. Gwynn. The item number 12, the revenue and expenditure report.
Amanda's not available this afternoon, so I told her I'd give her her report for her. And it's her regular report, too. Page 1 depicts that revenues are at 61.47% of the year. And on page 2, the expenditures are at 55.85 at 75% of the year. On page 3 are the charts that compare the year-to-date revenue and expenditures for both operating and capital to the budget. And page 4 and 5 gives you a brief explanation of the funds that are highlighted on page 1 and 2 that are under the budget for revenues or over the budget for expenditures by 5% or more. And then that last page reflects all the checks issued in September over 100,000, and they totaled $2,606,812.
Gentlemen, does anyone have any questions on the revenue and expenditure report? I don't see any. Ms. Gwynn, thank you so much for your report. Item number 13, bid items. To accept the lowest responsive bid as follows. Ms. Jones.
Good evening. On October 11, 2018, the Purchasing Department received 3 bids for limestone, number 57, number 89, and 610. After review, the Purchasing Department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Renee Trucking, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
Move to approve.
Second.
I have a motion by Mr. Dawson and a second by Mr. Cagnolati to approve. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On October 9, 2018, the Purchasing Department received 4 bids for premium red mulch. After review, the Purchasing Department and Recreation recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Phillips Bark Processing Company, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Mr. Dawson, a second by Mr. Cagnolati. I have one comment. I have finally learned what red mulch is technically. Engineered wood fiber. Never knew that.
There you go.
No, any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On October 9, 2018, the Purchasing Department received 1 bid for premium red mulch. Did I read the same thing? Okay. After review, the Purchasing Department and Recreation recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Irrigation Mart, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
So moved, Madam
Have a
Chairman.
motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, second by Councilman Cagnolati, and by Councilman Kluot. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On October 18, 2018, the Purchasing Department received 1 bid for the 6-yard dump truck, and we're buying 2 units. After review, the Purchasing Department and Public Works recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Timmons Truck Center, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this project.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
I have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, a second by Councilman Aaron Lawler.
No,
Or
I have a question.
I have a second by Councilman Kluot.
Yeah. Either way,
And questions?
How do we
Councilman
get,
Lawler.
I'm concerned that we are trying to buy a dump truck and we've got 1 bid on it. Are the specifications on this so specific that we're only getting 1 bid? Because, I mean, buying a vehicle is different than buying some specialized
It's
piece
a
of equipment.
6-yard truck.
I wouldn't think so, but I can look into it. But if you look on our bid notice, whenever in specification that we do have a name of, we can name a dump truck, a model, whatever, but we do accept alternates to the specification. I'm not sure, but I can,
No, I'm just very concerned that we're getting, number one, the best price, and that we had one bid on a dump truck. There are a lot of people out there that sell dump trucks.
So,
Mr. Dawson?
I think this is a West Ascension drainage. Is that correct, Joan? And we talked about this, a 6-yard truck, which is, used to be the kind of common bobtail truck, but they're not common anymore. I mean, I too think that maybe you could get, maybe you should get more than one, but it is uncommon. The 6-yard is not, like the 8 and 10s at 12s that.
Why is a
Most
6-yard
people use-
necessary versus getting a more common where we may be able to get a
We
better
asked
price?
for this, and we asked those questions, and that's because of maneuverability.
I was gonna say that.
Small.
Yeah.
It's a smaller truck.
We don't have 8, but the small, it's 10 foot wide, less driveways that we call roads. I mean, that's how wide they are. I mean,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you need a smaller truck.
smaller truck.
I mean, that makes sense. I'm just asking the question,
Mr.
trying to
Kluwer?
figure it out.
Yeah, I just want to further expand on Aaron's question. I had the same question, but as I look at the specifications, when we write the specifications, we almost name the truck we're going to get sometimes. It narrows the field down. I also am not real happy with just one bid. Joan, that's just one of my things I ask a lot of times, but when I look at these specifications, we got it named down to the hubcap, you know what I mean? And so when we do that, and I do agree with Mr. Dawson and them that, this 6-yard is a truck that can be used in tight places, in small areas, and that's something we probably wouldn't normally buy for big areas, so. It is what it is.
So we have a motion and a second. Mr. Cagnolati?
Just curious, I know we buy some things through the state contract. Is
Yes,
this
sir.
something that would qualify?
well, we look on state contract and see what their specifications are, because on state contract, you buy what they have already spec'd out, if it meets our specs. That's why we don't bring a lot of vehicles to you for approval, because we do utilize the state contract.
Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank
Madam
you.
Chair, I have one more question.
Mr. Lawler?
Who develops these specs? I mean, if they're this specific,
That comes from our fleet management or transportation
DPW.
department.
do we know who did this one?
I don't have the entire file with me here, but I would think.
It would be Ron.
Boy.
Ron Sawa was the first
Ron
one
Savoy.
started. And the other thing, the reason why this truck have to be put together, this truck won't be delivered to us until March or April.
Yeah.
So that's another reason why the price is
Customized.
so ridiculous.
It may be cheaper to widen the roads.
Is it,
At some point.
real quick clarification, this is for 2 trucks,
Yes,
the
sir.
175?
Yes, sir. The trucks are actually,
I just don't think this price is ridiculous. I
the
think it's
price,
And I don't mean
For
to
2 trucks.
counteract anything anybody said, I'm just saying that's,
I understand,
That's 2
but I
trucks.
mean, for 175, we looked at it and we go, well, what we buying? It's just a 6-yard dump truck, but
It's 2 of them.
2 of the
Yeah.
pickups like I got in the parking
2 of 'em.
lot probably get to be about 75 to 85% of this same cost.
Well, you got a fancy truck, though. I mean, the rest of us can't get something like that.
Mr. Chairman.
don't have heated seats in this
All
one.
right, gentlemen, let's move
Floorboards
along.
drop down and it's waterproof.
We don't need to start comparing the size of our trucks. Let's move along.
Second.
Item, so we have a motion and a second. And do we have any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
on September 27, 2018, the purchasing department received 1 bid for polychloride sewer drainage pipe, PVC. After review, the purchasing department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Kedco LLC, and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this project.
I have a motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, a second by Councilman Cagnalotti. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On September 25th, 2018, the Purchasing Department received 4 quotes for the Janelle Street driveway project. After review, the Purchasing Department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive quote submitted by L&Q Construction and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this project.
So moved, Madam
Have a
Chairman.
motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, a second by Councilman Dempsey Lambert. And is that L&O or L&Q? Our agenda says L&O.
L&O. Computers.
So it's an L&O. Okay. The minutes need to reflect it's an L&O. Any, I have a motion and a second. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On October 23rd, 2018, the Purchasing Department received 2 bids for bridge material and round timber piles. After review, the Purchasing Department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by MCM Lumber Company and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
So moved.
I have a motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Cagnalotti. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On October 23rd, 2018, the Purchasing Department received 1 bid for shaving. After review, the Purchasing Department and Lamar Dixon recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by S&S Farms and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Councilman Dempsey Lambert, second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
On October 25th, 2018, the Purchasing Department received 3 bids for pump sand and river silt. After review, the Purchasing Department and DPW recommend accepting the lowest responsive bid submitted by Renee Trucking and to authorize the parish president to enter into any applicable agreement or contract for this material.
So moved,
I
Madam
have a
Chairman.
motion by Councilman Todd Lambert, a second by Councilman John Cagnalotti. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. We are at the end of this night, and we thank you for being here, and I want to encourage everyone to please, if you have not done so, go and vote.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Cagnalotti, second by Mr. Satterley. Thank you.